Shalom. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught us this truth. Peace, salutation, blessings, and mercy to the Lord's elect. Yahweh is the name of the Most High, meaning He is, He exists, He to be. Yahweh Shai is the name of His only begotten Son, meaning He deliver or He Savior. And us so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the real Israelites. And this is the spirit I was reading earlier in Psalm, the 44th chapter, and I got to verse 3. And verse 3 is the point, and we'll read it. And it had me thinking this is a major cut to those carnal Israelite camps that think somehow we're going to come together ourselves and rise up against the militaries of our enemies and defeat them ourselves. All right, this is a cut to any carnality. All right, so I'll start here. And it also had me thinking, this is the spirit, because recently you had who we believe to be an agent, open that page called Hebrew Defense Unit. And he's talking about forming up a so-called black Hebrew Israelite military together to defend the community and to go up against Esau. All right, and that's crazy as hell, and that's outside of the scriptures. That's outside of the doctrine. Is going to be by a divine power that our enemies are taken down, and that divine power is Yahweh Shai. All right, it's going to have nothing to do with us and our power. All right, though the Lord is going to use certain of His men, the elect men, to take vengeance upon the so-called white man, Esau, Edom. All right, but that's going to be through divine power, spiritual power. All right, not by a gun or any, technology on this side that this devil has. So I'll start here in Psalm 44. It says, "We have heard with our ears, O Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, our fathers have told us what work thou didst in their days in the times of old." Yeah, and it's recorded through these scriptures. It says how thou didst drive out the heathen with thy hand and plantedest them, how thou didst afflict the people and cast them out. All right, coming out of Egypt, first of all, all those plagues were put on our enemies in Egypt. But then, after our time was done wandering around in the wilderness, we got to the land that was promised to us. All right, the land of Canaan, known today as the land of Israel. All right, and the Lord, through His hand, Joshua at the time, all right, Joshua ran through that land and drove all of those heathen, all of those Hamites out. It says in verse 3, and this is the point, "For they got not the land in possession by their own sword." All right, even though back then they did physically, run through that land with the sword, but it's because the Lord was with them. All right, and He ordered them to do that. All right, during that time. It says, "Neither did their own arm save them, but thy right hand and thine arm." All right, and who's the right hand of the Most High? Yahweh Shai. All right, because even though Jake did physically win those battles, when you go through those stories in the book of Exodus and in the book of Joshua, they couldn't have done it without the Lord. A lot of the times the Lord had to intervene, all right, through a miracle. An example of that is the walls of Jericho. Those were mighty walls. But if it wasn't for the Lord's direction and His spiritual interruption in that situation, we wouldn't have been able to get through those walls. All right. And the key thing is obedience. All right. When you read through the book of Joshua, it was all about being obedient to what the Lord was telling Joshua and telling Israel to do. And the Lord was very specific on his instructions. And if one thing was off, if they didn't go through with one thing the Lord said to do, then it didn't go right and people died. All right, people were killed. And there's examples of that when you go read the book of Joshua. All right, but we apply this now to the time we're in. Again, in verse 3, for they got not the land in possession by their own sword, neither did their own arm save them, but thy right hand and thine arm, right? Yahushai and the angels. That's who's going to come destroy our enemies, the so-called white man and the rest of the heathen. It says, in the light of thy countenance, because thou hadst a favor unto them, right? So you have, this agent or whatever he is, create this page, Hebrew Defense Unit, and he's pushing carnality, all right? He's not guided by the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, all right? Because he's trying to push to take matters into our own hands and to go by Esau's blessing, all right? Go by his sword. And you already have Israelite camps that are out there teaching with Esau's blessing on their hip. All right, the sword, the modern day sword is the gun. All right, now there's nothing wrong with owning the gun, for self-defense or home defense or whatever. But you're not to bring that to the Lord's platform or exalt that like that's going to be the thing to deliver you. All right, King David. In one of the Psalms, he said he will not trust in his bow. He had the bow, but he said he's not going to trust in it because he knew that victory comes from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, right? Through divine interruption. There's a lot of times where King David was on the run, and at times specific, he was on the run from his enemies, and he just had to call on the name of the Lord. And he was delivered. The Lord beamed him up. All right. So we can't, there's no way we could win here carnally. All right. If we all band up together, all of the Israelites throughout Babylon, we band up with ARs and AKs and guns and start this militia and try to overthrow the government like the low-level Edomites are going to try to do. All it will take is this devil to send out a frequency through his 5G, to send out an experiment he has in his science lab, right? To send a drone strike, to send out some type of biohazard, all right? Or whatever. And it will be easy for him. Why? Because carnality, weapons, that's his blessing. Our blessing is spiritual, the kingdom of heaven. And Yahushai and the angels are coming to bring that and to throw down these heathen. All right. So it's all about, I kept mentioning obedience, even during the time of Joshua and getting the Holy Land, driving those heathen out. They had to be very obedient to every single thing the Lord instructed them to do, or else the plan wouldn't work out. And there's examples, there's times where they weren't obedient and things didn't work out. All right, so this is Zephaniah 3:8. This is what the Lord commands us to do in this time, right now. It says in Zephaniah 3:8, therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right, that's what we're commanded to do, not build up a Hebrew Israelite defense unit, all right, and form a militia with guns and go stand outside the White House or whatever these niggas plan on doing. It's not going to work. All right, the Lord commanded us to wait on him. And in the meantime, while we're waiting, what are we supposed to be doing? Bearing the indignation of the Lord. All right, because this is our punishment being here because we went off. And what's our the thing we're really supposed to be occupied in is prophecy. right? Going out on those streets and prophesying, doing these videos and teaching. All right, that's what we're supposed to be doing while we're on our punishment. Thinking upon the name of the Lord, right? Reflecting on, our past, reflecting on our history as a nation, meditating in these scriptures, right? Thinking about the kingdom of heaven, all right? Suffering patiently, all right? That patience and suffer goes hand in hand. All right. And when you waiting, you being patient, you suffering, because we see the abominations that are done in this place. We're living in Sodom and Gomorrah all over again in those other cities. Right. We're vexed day to day. But we got to sit here and wait for Yahushua to come. All right. We're sick of the filth of this place, the unjust dealings of this so-called white man and the 2/3 of our people. But we got to wait for Yahushua. Yahushua has to come get his vengeance first. Right? Yahushua has to get his vengeance first. And that's written. Before I continue on, let me get that precept real fast. Romans 12:19. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine. I will repay, saith the Lord. So vengeance is of the Lord. All right. He has to be the first to get his revenge. Think about how he left this earth. Right. He was disrespected and belittled by his own people, the very same people he created. All right, those very same people turned him over to the Edomites, the Romans, to be crucified. And those Roman soldiers nailed him to that cross. All right, that's why it says in Revelation 1, when he comes, he's coming with clouds, those chariots, and every eye is going to see him, even them that pierced him. Because those same Edomites that physically nailed him to that cross, they're back today, in the reincarnation in some high position, whether it be military or some type of government official or whatever. They're back today, and they're going to see Yahushua when he comes, and he's going to put them to remembrance of what they did to him. All you wicked ass so-called Negroes that were chanting for Yahushua to get crucified. All right, that disrespected him and didn't believe on him. And you saw the miracles he did. You're back today. And when Yahushua comes, you're going to be put in remembrance. All right. So that's why when Yahushua comes, he's not doing no talking. It says he's going to beat people to powder at his presence. All right. He's going to beat people to powder at his presence, just zapping people with the laser beams from the chariots. All right, so he's going to get his vengeance first. It's written, vengeance is his. All right, now going back to Zephaniah 3 and verse 8, where this is what we're commanded to do. Therefore, wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations. And the Lord is doing that right now. He's gathering all of the nation's armies over in the Middle East, the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is Yahweh Shaphat in the Hebrew, meaning Yahweh's judgment, because that's where the nations are physically gonna fight World War III. On top of those nuclear missiles being shot off, and that's where Yahushua and the angels are gonna appear and zap those armies to powder. All right, pursuant to 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter. All right, so the Lord is gathering those nations. It says that I may assemble the kingdoms to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. Because what's going to be going on when Yahushua comes again, World War III. All right, nuclear missiles. And Yahushua is in the midst of all of that. All right, his spirit is orchestrating these nations, testing those missiles and, building military bases in the Middle East. And he's going to cause them to push those buttons and go to war. All right, ultimately to destroy themselves. And then when he comes, those physical soldiers that are fighting on ground in the Middle East, they're going to be zapped to powder. All right, like nothing. It's going to be easy work. That's what Yahushua is coming to do. That's what we're to wait on. All right, that's way more powerful than, us getting AR-15s and meeting up at a brother house and trying to plot something against this devil. It won't work out. Maybe you'll get a few Edomites, but you won't even get the important ones. You won't get these elite banking families. Yahushua is coming to get them. All right. And those who are obedient and wait for him like he told us to, he's going to grant you power. All right. The Lord said he was going to take vengeance upon Edom by the hand of his people. He said that we were going to be his battle axes and weapons of war. We understand that we're fishing right now, but soon we'll be made hunters. But that all comes through patience and obedience. We have to wait for our Lord Yahushua, our big brother. He got to get his licks in first. So if you going outside of that, if you trying to take matters into your own hands, or you trying to jump the gun before Yahushua even gets here, and you being disobedient, and Yahushua is going to fuck you up. Straight up. All right, straight up, because the scriptures say rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft. All right, so let's end this with one more point. Let's get Zechariah 4 and 6, but in the modern translation, the GNTD. All right, it says here, the Most High's promise to Zerubbabel, and this is very spiritual. This is foreshadowing, because Zerubbabel in the Hebrew is Zerubbabel, which means sown in Babylon, and that's us. That's that elect remnant that's in America, in Babylon the Great. Verse 6, it reads, the angel told me to give Zerubbabel this message from the Lord. You will succeed. All right, we have the victory. All right, it tells us that we have the victory through who? Through Yahushua, the blood of the Lamb. All right, not just on our own. So it makes sense that we have to wait for Yahushua. It says you will succeed not by military might, right? That's a direct cut to to this guy who made this, the Hebrew Defense Unit. And I think he deleted it, but he had a description. And it just seemed like he was an agent, because he was talking about we are a organized military group. Well, for what? Because we're not going to defeat this devil and enter into the kingdom by our own military might. As it says right here, you will succeed not by military might or by your own strength, but by my spirit. All right. The spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. All we're commanded to do is go out on those streets and teach, prophesy. All right. Yeah, we're going to cuss this devil out. We're going to cuss the wicked 2/3 of our own people out and tell them that they're going to be destroyed. They're going to die a painful death. Yeah, we're commanded to go out there and tell them evils are coming to this earth. All right. But the kingdom of heaven is going to be established. All right. That's all we're to do for now. And then when the Lord gives us the green light, we're going to know. All right. We're going to know when it's time to get busy, because it ain't going to be no consequences. All right, it's going to be a thing where this devil won't be able to get his hands on you and hit you with a gun charge and, or shoot you. No, we're going to be bulletproof. We're going to have laser eyes. We're going to be able to fly. We're going to be able to appear and disappear. All right, we're going to be able to manipulate the elements, teleport. All right, that's real power. All right, and that's not our power. That's not by our own power. That's by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, spiritual power. All right, so that's ultimately what we're waiting on. But to get that, we have to wait for Yahweh Shai. All right, everything decent and in order. So Lord's will, this lesson was edifying. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Racha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS. Peace and mercy to the elect. Shalom.